Sup? Oh no, there's a monster, a giant black arachnia. Oh no. Anywho, I wanted to wait a day or two to really give it some thought process before I commentated on last chapter of Noble Knights, which is clearly them shouting, "It's coming to an end. You're not getting any more support for a long time." Like a year or two or more. Which is cool because as long because Konami is planning on Noble Knights be tier 1. Like they want the format is going to be Noble Knights, Shaddolls, Quilloffs. That is going to be the big trio in the future because you have the Spellcasters, which are the Shaddolls, you have the Noble Knights, which is the Warriors, and you have the Quilloffs as the machines and technology. So it's a whole theme. Anywho, when I first saw last chapter last night, it was late, about 10 o'clock at night. No, 11:30. 11:30. It got posted at 6 a.m. I read it at 11:30. I thought it was the greatest thing in the world because it really is a great card. It's Fujin Reincarnation. Also true. And this is basically how the effect will read. When your opponent controls a monster or monsters and you control none, you can target one Noble Arms spell card and one Noble Knight monster in your graveyard. When this card resolves, special summon the monster and equip it with the equipped spell card. You can only use last chapter of the Noble Knights once per turn. Completely fair, completely rounded, has a bunch of great points. My personal problem with the card, I mean, it has no real restriction except you can control no Noble Knights, and your opponent must control at least one monster. Actually, my biggest problem is depending on how it's worded. Actually, there's two things with that. One, do I have to have a Noble Arms engraved? If I have to have a Noble Arms to use this, fuck. It's like turn 1, fuck. I saw them a drop, they trench or something, pop it, send it to grave. Cool. I have this in hand. I'll spell summon it back and go right on ahead. But it's the problem of, if it's not that, I have to have no arms. Turn 1, this card is dead. It is literally dead unless I go Madraw into the whole thing, then go into Sacred King or level 4 King, and they pop it somehow and do some miracle god shit. And then it goes to graveyard, then I can do it. But at that point, Sacred King effect, spell summon Madraw. Why am I using this? That's my biggest problem. Yeah. I mean, I'm not downplaying the card. This is definitely a 1-of. This is a 1 to 2-of card in your deck. Never 3. Never 3, because you can recycle it with Brothers. You can search it with Black Lancelot. Worst case scenario, send it from the deck to grave for the field spell. Like, you need that extra name. You want that bitch out of your deck. You're in a position where that card is pointless in your deck. You just want to clear out space or whatnot. All that things. I actually made a list. I actually pre-prepared for this beforehand. So perks of last chapter of Noble Knights are, it says Noble Knight in the in the name, so it counts for table. It can be recycled by Brothers, and it can be searched by High Lancelin. And depends on how it's worded, it could make Bottomless Trap Hole and such mistiming. It's like the last thing to happen is you equipped, so your opponent cannot do anything to the summoning. Or if it's summon the monster and equipped it, Bottomless Trap Hole equips to it. At the same time, your opponents can still activate shit to try to hit it, but it's one of those things of you have to activate MST. Bottomless Trap Hole, then MST. MST pops Destiny. Bottomless Trap Hole hits your monster, then you're kind of fucked. But, blah. But if it's worded where it's some kind of weird thing, I can't remember. Where if it's worded, like the whole Gwaine clause. Pop the monster, and if it's like attack monster, destroy it, and if it's destroyed, then destroy this card, makes hand mistiming, all that good shit. Let's see. So, but we don't know. We don't know what the official wording is, so we'll have to wait. So we'll have. But Destiny will still be fully equipped and resolved to protect us and wholly limit our opponent's control. And, you know, the only major problem is our opponent's control. Why do I see something blinking? Okay, never mind. Anywho, downsides. Must target at activation. If it says when this card resolves, special summon a Noble Knight, and then equipped it with no, you know, summon Noble Knight from graveyard and equipped it with Noble Arms from grave. Cool. That would have been so much better because I wouldn't have to worry about my opponent DD crowing or Transmigration Prophecy or some other bullshit of that nature. You know, it's like that. Yeah, that's a little bit cheap, but it would have been a lot better. You have that. I can only use this while I have no monsters and my opponent has a monster. That's a pretty significant blow right there. You know, it's like that's more than significant. Though we can attack, which is a very big thing. You know, it doesn't prevent us from doing that. Doesn't have any other restrictions. No life points. Very good. But then again, this does not replace Soul Charge. It does not. You know, technically, Soldier like they're each great for what they do. It's like Soul Charge allows you to make amazing fields, while this gives you that free just make a return play if your opponent didn't kill you. It's like, okay, if you don't kill me now, you're going to regret it. It's like, you better have major pluses. You better have something to stop me. You know, that's the deal with it. Pros and cons. So, must target activation, sucks. Must have a Noble Arms engraved, as I said. Opponent must control a monster, bullshit. I mean, must control a monster. We cannot control a monster. You know, not worried about that last effect. So yeah, that's pretty much my deal. It's like, I like the card. I was very excited about it, but then I thought about it and realized, yeah, it's really balanced and it's kind of it's an amazing balanced card that's really kind of crippled in the early games. It's really one of those your opponent is whipping your ass and only then can you use it. So one of, definitely, two of, don't know. I think Kevin said best. It's not a you run Soul Charge or this, it's you run them hand in hand. It's like they're complementary. Soul Charge is great for making those buses opening first turn moves, you know. Lavalval Chain, Bujingu, Tsuyomi, and all that stuff. While this is great for making comeback plays, counts for the names, and all that stuff. Trying to think. Merlin is definitely going to be our searcher. Probably the most important thing that I've drug out and should have mentioned beforehand was the fact of, in the article, they clearly stated like all the cards are platinum rare. All of them are platinum rare. Actually, I'm going to read the article. Exact words. Just remember, you can only find the last chapter of Noble Knights in the Noble Knights of the Round Table box set. It'll be a platinum rare, not to be confused with platinum secret rare. They are different, just like every other card in the box. It is a perfect addition to the Noble Knight deck you already built, or the Noble Knight deck you always wanted to build. The once and future Noble Knight deck, if you will. Yes, I'm hoping Platinum Rare is going to be like Gold Rares, with that dark border or line going around them, but it will be like a muddy gray. Imagine that with Ghost Rares. Why am I doing this? I don't know. Yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts. Like, it's not busted. It's well balanced. It's a good card. It's never going to be a 3 of. 2, I think, is pushing it a little bit. I've actually had absurd good luck at just summoning High Lancelin turn 1, but that's mostly thanks to Bujingi Tsuyomi / Lavalval Chain. Yeah. So those combos, like turn 1 High Lancelin plus fully equipped boars, table on field, and just plussing out the butt. And yeah. Oh yeah, that's great. So if you go High Lancelin, add last chapter of hand, and your opponent destroys Lancelin, just bring it back with last chapter and be like, LOL, you mad bitch, LOL. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And comment, like, subscribe. Give me your input. Do you see something I'm missing? Did you think this was entertaining? And as Black Arachnier would say, subscribe. Subscribe!